or good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Garakanian. I am an attorney at Workers Defense Project, and I just wanted to thank you all for coming this morning. This morning we have a list of speakers who can speak a little bit more about what's happened in the last few days and also speak to how this community is responding. We have Councilmember Casar with us. We'll also have Councilmember Delia Garza with us, representatives from grassroots leadership, representatives from labor, including Montserrat Caravay with Education Austin, Willie Gonzalez with Unite Here, Rick Levy with the AFL-CIO. We also have members of University Leadership Initiative here as well this morning, who will be speaking with you. So just to start, again, thank you so much for being here. My name is Stephanie Garakanian. I am an attorney at Workers Defense Project. We are a membership-based organization with over 2,500 low-wage worker members that live in this community. Many of our members are undocumented, and many of our members live in this neighborhood. I actually live less than a mile away. I voted at this library. I do my shopping at the grocery store across the street, and I see our members and their families in this neighborhood all the time. We are here today to join with our elected leaders, with our allies in labor, with amazing, courageous grassroots organizations like Grassroots Leadership and United We Dream to denounce the actions that are happening in this community and the raids that are happening in this community. We are working closely with our allies to ensure that at this time the immigrant community in Austin and in Travis County gets the important information that they need about their rights. And we also think it is important to name at this time that the level of ICE enforcement activities that we have seen in this community in the last few weeks are unprecedented. We do not have any recent memory of seeing this level of ICE enforcement in our communities, and it has not escaped our attention that such activities come at the heels of courageous actions by our Travis County Sheriff, our city leadership, our county leadership, who have reaffirmed and defended again and again that our immigrant neighbors are vital to the fabric of our communities. They make our city, they make our county great, and they make our economy churn. Our immigrant neighbors are essential to our collective growth, our collective success, and we view these acts as an attack on hardworking men and women who make our economy and our state strong. So without further ado, it's my honor to introduce Councilmember Greg Casar.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? Today we are here to let the community know that we have heard of several confirmed ICE actions in Austin, especially in areas of town with large immigrant communities like this one. And we are here to denounce those actions and to let the community know that we have their backs and that we are going to fight for them. I believe that ICE is out in public arresting people in order to retaliate against our community for standing up for our values and standing up against the anti-immigrant hysteria of Abbott, Trump, and their ilk. ICE actions like these are beyond reprehensible. Undoubtedly, ICE officials will attempt to justify their actions by holding up the actions of a few people in order to imply that all undocumented immigrants are criminals. This kind of denigration is disturbing and morally wrong and politically motivated. Trump and his allies will do everything they can to divide us as Americans, to invoke fear into our neighborhoods, and to demonize entire communities of people. They are trying to instill fear in this community, and I have heard from folks here in our neighborhoods who fear for their safety because of these actions. As a matter of fact, one of my close friends and constituents is a teacher at a school right up the road. Because of these last actions in the last 24 hours, there are children who have not come to school. There are families in this neighborhood who have locked themselves into their apartments. These ICE actions have nothing to do with the law. These ICE actions have nothing to do with public safety. These ICE actions are politically motivated and morally bankrupt attempts to punish our community for standing up for our collective civil rights. They are attempts to silence us, and these are attempts to strike fear into our hearts. But we will not be silenced. We will continue to fight. I and others will be in District 4 and areas all across the city today, informing community members of their rights, and the City Council is scheduled at our next City Council meeting to make emergency appropriations into legal resources so that everyone has access to their rights under their law. We will continue fighting and do everything we can under the law to protect our communities. Thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Delia Garza.
Hi, thank you. I represent Southeast Austin, which is one of our most Hispanic districts. And when I started to hear news this morning that there are what appeared to be stops by ICE officers, frankly, it was infuriating. I think it is entirely irresponsible of a so-called public safety agency to be doing these stops with little information to this local community. Our city was not made aware of these stops. I understand, that it could undermine the purpose of them, but if they are truly lawful stops, and if they are stops that have, worthy warrants of some sort, this community deserves an explanation of what they are. I saw a video on social media of a stop where a man was on his knees and handcuffed, and the optics of that creates fear in this community. Families see that, children see that, and it has created irresponsible fear. It is an irresponsible action by this federal agency to come into our community with little explanation and have these stops. And for what? To flex a political muscle? It is our leaders' responsibility, our governors, our president, to do things that are worthy, that are necessary. And all this has done is created fear in this community, and it has created a situation where families who have probably valid reasons to call 911 are not going to call 911 because they're afraid. And these are families who have come to this country for a better life, who have come to this country escaping horrible things. And that is not the American way, and that is not the Austin, Texas way. So we deserve an explanation for these stops. The city deserves, this community deserves, and I hope that ICE makes a statement soon. It is entirely irresponsible, and I stand by our community. I know Councilmember Casar stands by this community, and we will do everything in our power to find some answers and educate our community. Thank you.
So at this time, I wanted to introduce Montserrat Garabay, who's here with Education Austin.
Good afternoon. My name is Montserrat Garibay. I'm a National Board Certified Teacher, and I'm the Vice President for the Teachers Union here in Austin, Education Austin. We represent 3,000 members, and we're standing in solidarity with our community. We know that it is extremely important for our members, custodians, teachers, social workers, educators to know what is happening and to get information on how they can help the community get prepared for this. So we are having a Know Your Rights training for the educators in Austin tomorrow at Becker Elementary at 9 a.m. and at 11:30 a.m. We already have about 40 educators sign up, and we're going to be providing them with information that they can take to their classrooms and provide to the families. We cannot teach our children science, math, social studies when our children are being very scared of what is happening. So it is our responsibility as educators to provide this information, Know Your Rights trainings to them, and we are working in collaboration with the University Leadership Initiative, the Equal Justice Center, and the Texas Here to Stay Coalition in providing this information. Mi nombre es Montserrat Garibay, soy maestra y también soy la vicepresidenta del Sindicato de Maestros del Distrito Escolar con Education Austin. Nosotros como educadores sabemos que es nuestra responsabilidad darle información a nuestros estudiantes, a las familias acerca de sus derechos, y por eso es que estamos haciendo un curso, una clase mañana en la escuela Becker a las 9 de la mañana y a las 11:30, donde estaremos hablando con los educadores acerca de qué pueden darle a los estudiantes y a las familias, paquetes de información para que se preparen para esta crisis. Esta es una crisis que nuestra comunidad está teniendo y no vamos a dejar que nuestras familias tengan miedo. Por eso es que estamos haciendo esta información para ellos y estamos trabajando en colaboración con diferentes organizaciones porque es muy importante para nosotros que demos esta información. Gracias.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Willie Gonzalez with Unite Here.
Hello, my name's Willie Gonzalez. I'm the president for Unite Here Local 23. We represent hospitality workers and food service workers here in Austin. So we're here for a very clear reason, to express our outrage, okay, at what has happened here today. With all the problems we have in this country right now, our federal government has taken upon itself to waste our money intimidating good, honest, hard-working families. Our union, like many other unions, represent many of these people. They get up every day, they go to work every day, they send their kids to school, they play by the rules, and our federal government has decided to attack them, to try and scare them, to intimidate them. But we're here to say today that we're proud to stand with the community, with Councilman Garza, okay, with Councilman, everyone here, and make it very clear, very, very clear that we are not going to be intimidated, we are not going to back down, and we are going to speak up and stand up for our rights. Thank you. And Councilman Casar.
Okay, I'd like to call Alejandro Cáceres with Grassroots Leadership.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Cáceres. I've been flustered at the moment. My name is Alejandro Cáceres. I work at Grassroots Leadership. I'm the campaign manager of the I Out of Austin campaign. We've been set up here at the HEB for like the last 3 hours because we run a hotline where folks call and say wherever there's a raid happening, if they want like information on resources. So we've been stationed here for like the last few hours where we've seen unmarked vehicles driving around. There's been a lot of videos being shared from this area of immigration picking people up. I think that we went to visit a family who said that immigration went with the Austin Police Department to knock on our door, which for us is very concerning because the last time we checked, we thought that the APD didn't help in these targeted raids, but the woman said that someone dressed in blue that said Austin Police went and knocked on her door with 2 other immigration officers. So I think that there's a massive urgency right happening in the community. We run a hotline and I don't think we've ever had more calls than I've had in the last several hours. Someone is actually walking around answering the phone calls right now. So I think that we want and need to make sure that we know that APD is actually not participating in this, because as far as I know, from the folks who've been talking to us, APD has been participating, and my job and my duty is to folks who are undocumented and folks who are immigrants to make sure that they know that their police department, as Austin has said, that it continues to be a city that cares about its immigrant community and it is a welcoming city, and if its immigrant community members are watching immigration officers go on there, knock on their door and helping them get deported, then Austin is not a sanctuary city. Austin is not a welcoming city to immigrants. And I don't know if Stephanie, if we are going to have someone who family got picked up earlier this morning talk. I mean, do you want to talk?
Hi, my name is Teresa Velasquez. If you look at me, you don't think that I'm of a different ethnic. I'm Native American, my husband's Hispanic, my son-in-laws are Hispanic, my nieces and nephews are Hispanic, and I have immigration ICE sitting at my front yard that anybody that goes to my house gets arrested to be deported. I have a daughter and a daughter-in-law downtown because of their color of their skin. They put out warrants for whatever reason, lying, because they could not deport them. Immigration told me, well, we can do whatever we want to do. I have 4 grandchildren at my house that I did not send to school because they're brown colored, they have black hair, and they have brown eyes. I have my husband locked in my home and told him do not open the door for anybody because we have immigration at our front door sitting there deporting anybody that goes to my home. I don't care who's native, if they're native, they're African American, they're white, they're Hispanic. I'm not going to ask who your papers are. But now I have to call my friends and tell them, you cannot come over Your children cannot come and play with my grandchildren because you could go be deported. I have my family locked up. Only me and my daughter is out on the streets trying to get my daughter and my daughter-in-law out of jail for warrants that are undone since 5:30 this morning. I've got video of where the immigration was arresting my son-in-law, and I asked him, why are you arresting? Oh, because we had to check his identity. He was going to work. People are saying he on Facebook, oh, well, he was probably drunk, because the news reported that there was a fight with ICE. There was no fight. I have the videotape to show there was no fight. The immigration ICE officer that was supposedly injured is on the video where he was not injured. The son-in-law they took from me, from my home, is the ones that has cuts and bruises on him. And they did not take him to the hospital. They took him to detention to be deported. I asked one person, you want to talk about illegals in this country? Let's go back to 1841 when the Pilgrims came, when the immigrants started coming to this country. And if you want to talk about immigrants, let's talk about them. Donald Trump's wife is an immigrant. She's not of this country. So if he wants to deport people, go from the top and work yourself down. I know families that I have called and told them do not leave their homes because of immigration. I told them they work hard. They're paying their taxes. They're buying homes. They're abiding by the laws. They came to this country to have a better life for their children and their family. This country is not giving that. It's becoming racist.
At this time, I'd like to bring up Anayeli Marcos with University Leadership Initiative.
Hello everyone, my name is Anayeli Marcos, and there goes my little piece of paper. I am a UT student studying 2 masters at UT, and I'm also undocumented. Thank you very much. I am part of University Leadership Initiative, and ULI understands that many families in our community are very scared, and there has been an increase in this fear. And I want to tell these families that their fears are valid and that they matter. Their fears matter, and they are not alone. We have been trying our best to put up Know Your Rights presentations, partnering up with schools, churches, and members of the Texas Here to Stay Coalition. We know that many of you might be scared of going outside, but we encourage you to learn your rights in whatever way you can. As ULI, we will be having a forum on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Killeen Middle School in the cafeteria, and you can also text 877-877 in order to receive texts from United with Dream. And these texts will basically allow United with Dream to respond back and tell you what ICE activity has been going on in your area. And so the clear message that we want to tell you is that if ICE comes to your home, please don't open the door, please remain silent, please know your rights, and we are here for you. Hola, mi nombre es Anayeli Marcos y soy parte de la iniciativa del liderazgo universitario. Yo soy una estudiante estudiando mi maestría en UT y también soy indocumentada. Nosotros sabemos que nuestra comunidad ha crecido el miedo, y nosotros aquí en ULI les queremos decir que sus miedos son válidos y que sus miedos importan. Y ustedes no están solos. Yo les quiero invitar y decirles que como ULI hemos puesto foros de Conozca sus derechos y hemos colaborado con miembros de escuelas, miembros de las iglesias y miembros de el Texas Here to Stay Coalition. Le quiero decir a muchos de ustedes que puedan tener miedo de ir afuera. Les quiero animar a que conozcan sus derechos en cualquier forma que puedan. Y en esa forma puede ser que puedan venir a uno de nuestros foros, y el próximo foro va a ser este miércoles en la secundaria de Killeen Middle School desde las 5:30 a las 7:30 de la tarde. Y otra cosa que pueden hacer es marcar el número al 877-877 para recibir mensajes de texto de United We Dream, y estos textos les pueden ayudar a aprender sobre las actividades de ICE que están ocurriendo en sus comunidades. Por favor, si ICE viene a sus casas, no abran la puerta, mantengan el silencio y por favor conozcan sus derechos. Nosotros estamos aquí para apoyarlos. También hay otros que los miembros de la coalición del Texas Here to Stay van a tener otros talleres, y el próximo va a ser el sábado, febrero 25, desde las 11 de la mañana hasta las 2 de la tarde en Atkins High School. Y también vamos a tener otro en el sábado, marzo 11, en Dobie Middle School, también a las 11 de la mañana hasta las 2 de la tarde.
Our next speaker is Rick Levy with the Texas AFL-CIO.
Thank you. My name is Rick Levy. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Texas AFL-CIO, which represents 240,000 workers in all industries and all areas across the state of Texas. We're here today because we want to make clear that the Texas labor movement stands with not only the immigrant community that is under attack today, but with our elected officials who choose to stand up for our values that we've expressed very clearly and that they have expressed very clearly in their actions. You know, this morning, people went to work, people dropped their kids off at school, people went grocery shopping, people went about the business of their lives. And because of this attack, people are going to come home tonight and their world is going to be very different. People are not going to be there that they expect to be there. They will be living in fear and things will be turned upside down. Well, my purpose is to tell the immigrant community that they don't stand alone, that the men and women of the Texas AFL-CIO stand with them, and our message to our elected officials is that you continue to stand up for us and we'll continue to stand for you. Thank you very much.
So we'll just have some closing remarks at this time by Councilmember Greg Casar.
And I'm just going to give two quick closing sentences and then take any of your questions. But in closing, we want more than anything else for the immigrant community to know that we have their backs and that we're going to fight for you. Y quiero que la comunidad inmigrante sepa que vamos a luchar por ustedes, vamos a apoyar a ustedes, y sabemos que mucha gente siente mucho miedo ahorita, pero esta comunidad va a luchar hasta el mero final para toda la gente que vive en esta ciudad. So I'll take 3 or 4 questions. Some folks here may be available for some questions, and then after that we'll break out for individual interviews.
As you know, SB 4 passed the Senate this week. Do you think this is the beginning of a new normal?
It is an unfortunate trend in our politics that leaders, instead of focusing on public safety solutions, spinelessly try to scapegoat immigrants for their own purposes. And that's what we see out of these ICE actions today, is that they are clearly have nothing to do with the law. They clearly have nothing to do with public safety. They are retaliatory action trying to strike fear into our communities and trying to punish our communities for standing up for our rights. But I believe that doing that is a violation of what the federal government should be doing, just like SB 4 is a violation of our Constitution.
You said you confirmed a large amount of immigration actions. What are those specific numbers, and how can you confirm these raids or arrests that y'all are saying are happening?
Well, multiple members of the media here reported on an arrest this morning that was confirmed with ICE. And then also multiple members, I think, of the media here have also reported on the video that happened right up the street here at the Whataburger. And so that is another public ICE action. As you heard from original speakers after years of experience here, these sorts of public arrests are clear demonstrations of trying to intimidate the community. There would not be news cameras here. This would not be a story if things had not changed. And this is a drastic shift in ICE actions in our community. We've heard many more had many more phone calls from constituents hearing their doors getting knocked on, many more photographs from all over the city, different parts of the city. And so ultimately the fact of the matter is ICE's actions out here in public clearly have nothing to do with protecting people's safety and everything to do with a politically motivated attempt to attack our communities.
We understand your moral displeasure with being reported to changes. What legal avenues or what legal issues do you have with the manner in which they reportedly done these ways?
We are going to pursue all of our legal options, and since this is a new development, I'm not sure if other folks want to speak to this, but I do think we need to understand exactly why these raids, or essentially calling them raids, I think maybe implies a certain kind of action, but essentially why these ICE actions and arrests were ordered and how they've been carried out. Because indeed, if they were politically motivated and not motivated by protecting people's public safety, then I think there may be legal avenues for challenging this. But I think even more, you might want to talk to community members who are making sure that everybody knows their legal rights, because no matter what the Facebook commenters might say, no matter what the commenters on your news stories might say, everyone in this country has legal rights and is protected by our Constitution, and everyone deserves to have access to counsel, and that's why the City Council is moving forward with all due haste at their next council meeting to make an emergency appropriation to get people the defense they need.
Can I add something to that? I think that's part of the problem, is that we don't have these answers. We're simply getting information from constituents, from social media, and there has been no statement by this public safety agency to explain what exactly they're doing, under what legal action allows them to do that. And there is a ripple effect to that, and that is what most of us are speaking to, is tell us what's going on. Let this community know how you have come into this community and are making arrests. I mean, the video I saw this morning was a man on his knees at a Whataburger. I mean, that is a very horrible optic thing for families to see, for children to see. So give us some answers. We wouldn't be here with all these concerns if we had those answers. And so I think it's irresponsible to not know what's going on, why it's going on. We know it's going on. We've seen video of it going on. We have families telling us it's going on. Explain what's going on. That's what this community deserves. If this is legal, if this is lawful, let us know that. But that's the problem right now. We do not understand. And the ripple effects, our families are in fear, children are in fear. It has invited fear into this community, and that is just, it's not Austin, and it shouldn't be, it's not American either.
I'll take two more.
You two are very outspoken, but what about other city officials? What can and should they do after what's happened in the last 24 hours?
Well, I reached out to our city manager, who leads our public safety. They don't have any answers, is my understanding. They have not been. We're waiting to get information from them, and we need to know to what extent is APD part of this. Are they not? We don't know that yet. And
I can give an update on the APD front. The fact of the matter is, when Chief Manley was confirmed as our police chief, he made a commitment to this community that we would pursue criminal issues and local policing, and that we would not be engaging in civil, federal law enforcement, be it federal environmental enforcement, federal tax enforcement, federal immigration enforcement. And I believe this council will hold our entire city accountable for those sorts of commitments to our community. I got off the phone with Ray Ariano, who supervises the police chief, and he communicated that the Austin Police Department has not received any requests to his knowledge from Immigration and Customs Enforcement to assist in these actions, but they are investigating and will hopefully get us as much information as they can as soon as they can. It is clear that it is Abbott, Trump, and their ilk at Immigration and Customs Enforcement that is causing that fear, and we're here to denounce that fear and to support the community and empower them by knowing their rights. And the fact of the matter is, we took an oath of office to protect and serve our community. That's exactly what we are trying to do. They took that same oath, and they are not promoting our public safety by inciting fear in our community. As a matter of fact, they are doing the opposite for spineless, politically motivated reasons. Thank you all. You can take individual interviews with everybody else when you get a shot.
which one?